Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Aggie, and today we're talking about a very important but a subject that not a lot of people I feel like talk about, and that is self-love and basically some of the things I do to make sure that I am okay and that I am taking care of myself.
I don't have to party to have fun, you see. I got different hobbies and that's all I need.
So I feel like this topic of self-love, I feel like more and more people are starting to talk about it, but I feel like traditionally it's not something a lot of people talk about. A lot of the times, and maybe it's just the culture or the environment that I grew up in, this notion of taking care of yourself and your mental health and make sure that you feel okay and you're not overtly stressed isn't something that, for example, my parents would talk to me about. I feel like as life goes on, like we're talking about it a little bit more now, but I feel like growing up, there's there's not even a awareness, I guess, in a way that your mental health is important and that you need to release stress. And that's why I feel like, and maybe because like currently, like with the coronavirus going on, there's a lot of negativity and a lot of people are in very challenging and difficult positions. And I recently was in a slum and I was very negative and I felt like I wasn't getting anywhere. I feel like I felt very stuck. And on part of it, it might be because of the fact that we can't really go out as much and we're not being as social. And because of that, you feel like we've been, in a way, at the same spot we were right when COVID started. Like, I feel like I haven't gone anywhere. I feel like I'm stuck in the same spot. And I'm not really used to feeling stuck and kind of feeling, and I felt like it kind of bottled up too. Like initially I didn't really feel that way, and then now we're like 9 months in since the first lockdown, and it's almost like we're almost there, but we're not there yet. Like I know there's a lot of vaccines and such that are coming out, but we're not there yet. So I feel like we're still kind of stuck in that situation, and that's why I wanted to take the time today to talk about self-love and what I've been doing kind of to make sure I'm not overtly stressed and to make myself happy. So I feel like the very important part about self-love is figuring out what works for you. Like I feel like everyone's way of de-stressing is different. Some people like to go to the spa and like having a relaxing day and they'll be okay. Some people like to exercise, and if they run, for example, 30 minutes every day, they'll feel relaxed and they'll feel ready and they'll feel happy. Mine is kind of weird. I like watching funny shows. To me, if I am able to laugh out loud, and literally laugh out loud because I'm watching something funny, like it really helps me de-stress right away. So one thing that I do is look for comedies on, like I like to watch a lot of Korean like variety shows. I think they're really, really funny. So I always have like a go-to place that I go to find all of these episodes, and when I remember and I'm laughing, I kind of forget about all the stress that I'm feeling. So that's the thing that really works for me. And obviously everyone have their own. Like my sister exercises in the morning, and by running and using the elliptical, she feels less stressed. I know some people that box, they're able to release stress that way. My boyfriend is one of those people that if he exercises, he's able to relieve stress easily. And I think it's just a matter of what works for you, and figuring that balance would be a good first step to de-stress. The second tip that I have is work-life balance. I know that a lot of people, especially during this situation, everyone's trying their best to do everything they can, and at the same time when you're working from home, it really is challenging trying to figure out when is your personal time and when is your work time, especially if you're having a lot of projects and such going on. So one thing that I always make sure that I do, and I feel like it's something that I actually picked up from consulting, is that if I am logged off work and I know that certain things can be done tomorrow and doesn't have to be done today. Like it's not urgent in the fact that you have to get it done today. I will leave it for tomorrow. Like I feel like through my experience as a consultant who was traveling literally on a weekly basis, I used to fly out on Mondays and come back on Thursdays, and depending on the flight, sometimes Fridays. So I don't really have a lot of personal time. And even in that, like some people think it's a very, in a way, glamorous job, like being a consultant, you know, flying out to wherever you are on Mondays, coming back on Thursdays is so glamorous. It's really not like that, in the fact that it's a lot more than you would think. Like other people, 9 to 5, for example, at 5 they can clock out. There's no such thing as clocking out as at 5 in a consultant firm. Like it just doesn't exist. Like people are working until 2-3 a.m. Like that's consulting, and that's without the traveling. Like when you throw in the travel and the time difference, like it's a mind of its own. So for that, learning to maintain and balance out your stress is really, really hard. And I feel like through that experience, what I learned is if it doesn't have to be done today, and it can be done tomorrow, leave it for tomorrow. I know sometimes it's not that easy, especially when you have kids, but one thing that does help is scheduling. Like I'm a huge fan of scheduling. I schedule everything. So for example, even in work, even if I don't have meetings, people use calendars to schedule meetings, but I schedule things to do. So for example, if I have a meeting from 9 to 10 and I have free time from 10 to 11 and I know I need to get a specific task done, I will schedule that task to do, like I will schedule to do that task during that time, and I have it in all of my calendar. So I will say from 9 to 10 I'm meeting A, and then 10 to 11 I have to do task A, and then 11 to 12 I have a meeting, and 1 o'clock I have lunch, for example. I schedule everything, and that's not just work. In my personal life too. Like today I'll schedule time to say, okay, from this time to this time I am going to create a video. From this time to this time I am going to, edit the video. Or even with my friends, from this time to this time I will be eating with this person. From this time to that time I'll be meeting with that person. Like I schedule everything. And if you're able to do that and you just follow that schedule, you spend one day scheduling for the week or whatever, and you're able to follow that schedule, everything gets done. And I think this is something that some of my partner's the one that suggested me to do that. My senior manager told me to color code things too. So you know what is fixed and what is not fixed, in that like if there are priority tasks that you need to do, then you know like what I can move around and what I can't. So senior manager taught me to color code everything, and my partner taught me to schedule everything. So that's what my partner does too. If she needs to review something for me, I would send her a meeting invitation for her to review it. Because then no one can take that time to book another meeting because it's already scheduled. And that's something that I really like, it's really worked for me. Especially as like a consultant, I've never felt overstressed really. Like through my 4 years as a consultant, I've never really felt stressed, because A, I follow the scheduling method, and B, I learn to turn off when I need to. I know some people that can't do it. They're like, oh, I have so much work, I can't just do that. But to me, you need to, because if you don't, I have friends that actually don't, and they work crazy, like 100-hour weeks. And now as they're getting older, because we're all older now, their bodies are starting to feel it. Every like winter, she has bronchitis. Or during like whichever tight season, she is literally so sick, she like has to go to the hospital. So is it really worth it? Another thing actually that I always learn is to always make sure you have enough sleep. I know there are topics of people that say, I only need 2 hours of sleep, or I only need 4 hours of sleep. I feel like sleep is something that's very personal. Different people require different amount of sleep to function. I'm one of those people that like, I can function with 4 hours of sleep, but I won't be able to keep it up for like months and months. Like, it's just weird. But the weird part is I can't do 5. I can do 6, I can do 4, I can't do 5 hours of sleep. So I never sleep for 5 hours. If I really, really am busy and for a very, very short period of time, I can do 4 hours of sleep. it's fine. But on an average basis, I think it's really important to make sure that your organs are recharged and you're refreshed. I sleep at least 8 hours, and on the weekends, I sleep even more than that. Like, I can't do less. Like, for me personally, and I'm also someone that releases stress by sleeping as well. It makes me feel recharged, it makes me feel refreshed. So I take sleep as something that's very important. My third tip on de-stressing and self-care is to schedule at least one day a month where you are alone for the entire day. The reason why is so you can have that peace and quiet to think about yourself, and where you want to go in life, what you want to do in the next 5 to 10 years, just to be able to touch base with your inner self. Because I feel like a lot of the times, especially on the weekdays, especially with work when it's so busy, you really don't have time to really think. You need to know what your goal and what your aim is to know whether what you're currently doing can get you there. So having these like self-awareness days, I feel like it's very, very important. But I feel like not a lot of people do that. People generally just go, and they have like a quarter life crisis, and they're like, where am I going in life? Because they never thought about it. But I'm someone that really likes to reflect and really like to be in touch with my inner self to understand, what's bothering me, for example, when things are bothering me, where I'm going in life, what I want to achieve, and what I'm doing, getting where is what I am currently doing going to get me to where I want to be. So I take these days very seriously, and I really try to reflect, what I've done. And on top of that, what I'm grateful for as well, and to be thankful for all the blessings that you have. I feel like these things are very important. Like, a lot of people take a lot of time to socialize with other individuals, but they don't take enough time to understand themselves, to know what they really want in life, and to know where they're going in life. Like, I feel like more people put emphasis on hanging out with friends than they do learning about themselves. But I feel like you really need to learn about yourself to know what you like and what you dislike before you can really go out there to make an impact, or to go out there to say, this is the job I want to do, or this is the raise I want to get, or this is what I'm aiming. Because if you don't know yourself well enough, how do you know ultimately that's what will make you happy, right? And at the end of the day, everyone works so hard to be happy. No one works really, really hard to be miserable for the rest of their life. No one aims for that. So if you don't know what makes yourself happy, how do you make a decision now that will make sure you'll get there and you will be happy when you're there? Basically, to sum it all up, there are 3 main tips to self-love. The first one is to understand what works for you to help you de-stress. Different people have different methods. For me, it's just to really laugh and watch funny shows. Other people have exercising, like boxing and such, to de-stress. The second tip is work-life balance. Figuring out, when to basically take off work and balance life and work is very important. My third tip is to schedule one day a month to kind of use it as a reflection day, where you understand yourself and you reflect on everything you've done, and you kind of think about your goals and where you want to go in life. So to just have peace and quiet, where it's just you, yourself, and you, to understand who you are and where you want to go, and to recharge that way. You can even read a book. I usually reflect for half a day and then I read a book. But to just really be in touch with yourself. I think these are 3 tips that a lot of people really don't think about, but it really, really works for me. And I hope these tips would work for you as well. So comment below for your thoughts on my 3 tips. What works for you, what doesn't work for you, and anything else that you do that I haven't mentioned. And also, if you like this video, please give me a like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye!